Hello everyone, bonjour tout le monde. Welcome to EFA167 on this Saturday, September 5th. Shut the boop up with your COVID stats. Like every single station, anything you get on, if you want to listen to mainstream anything, it's your COVID stats. And I'm going to get into this. And again, I'm a participator and etc. But we're in a world right now, the negativity, I'm very, very grounded when it comes to energy. And I feel this freaking energy out there that everybody is sensing, and the people feel depressed and those kind of things, and it's because of all this negativity all the time, right? This controlism, etc. So when I'm looking at stats like shut the boop up, right? Fill in the blanks here. Just like stop with your stats. I'm an optimist. It might not show right now, but I'm an optimist, and I'm going to focus on the positive here. I'm going to turn these stats around because you guys, the system is. You guys also, because everybody just wants these stats, right? And you want to talk about stats? Before I get into the COVID stats here, these were the world stats. Just research it yourself. Risk leading to diseases worldwide, CDC, basically leading causes of death in perspectives, leading causes of death in the world. And then these are the daily deaths in the United States. I'm going to show you something here. But if you look at your leading death for diseases, the risk leading to diseases, high blood pressure is your big one up here. Then you're smoking, then you're high cholesterol, then your obesity, and it keeps going on, right? These are your top 4 or 5. Anyway, I'll keep going on here. The risk leading to death in perspective, high blood pressure, smoking, high cholesterol, obesity, low fruits and vegetables, they mirror themselves. So risk leading to death in perspective globally, risk leading to disease globally, they pretty much mirror themselves, right? And then you go to leading causes of death on earth, the big ones here that start off, heart and circulatory disorders, then it goes to cancer, then it goes to respiratory disorders, then it goes down to nervous system, digestive disorder, kidney disorder, infections. You can keep going on here, diabetes, it goes on to suicide, murder, all the way down to war, right? So it's not war and these things here, the big ones, it's all environmental, what you're subjected to, what you consume, etc. It's your lifestyle, it's you, right? That's what these stats tell you. These stats tell you, the population, that we're not healthy. That's what these stats are telling you here. This is what kills human beings prematurely or prior to their expiry date of you go to bed at night and you don't wake up, right? Prior to that, it's all tied to environment, unhealthiness, lifestyles, and so forth. But here's an interesting thing here. Daily death in the United States, this is April 20th, and these stats, the sources were pulled from the CDC stats, the World Meter stats, again CDC, the government stats, etc. Here's what happens. When I said that these stats were mirroring themselves here, right below COVID, they mirror themselves, right? Your heart disease, your cancers, your accidents, your respiratory disorders, your strokes, your Alzheimer's, etc. But look what suddenly surpassed it. The COVID-19 numbers, right? So statistically, COVID-19 numbers have now surpassed these numbers. But the COVID-19 numbers are all related to these conditions. Statistically out there and medically out there, they will tell you the people that were more susceptible to it, right? And there's higher percentage of people, much higher percentage of people that are susceptible to this disease or COVID-19, all related to lifestyle, the way we live, etc., environment, and so forth. That is proven again, just mirroring the same. It heightens all these conditions. That's what that does. COVID-19 heightens all these conditions. You just got a boost to your bad health. I'm going to optimize your bad health even worse, right? That's what COVID-19 does. So if I'm going to focus on the positive, and then as the stats show, it's on the unhealthiness are the vulnerable, the unhealthy lifestylers, people as they get old and etc. Because of the lifestyle they live throughout their life and their environment and so forth, that's where they are today when you look at statistically why they're here, right? And now with COVID-19, all these individuals that because of lifestyle, etc., all these diseases and so forth had not been augmented by COVID-19, right? So if I'm going to flip that around, because if you look at the medical world of our system over the last 100 years, why are you obese? That should be the question, right? Why is your heart not feeling well? That should be the question, right? But and they do all that, but with a lot of prescriptions and a lot of opiates and a lot of pills and band-aids, right? Band-aids. And then there's another lifestyle out there where a lot of from people that live these lifestyles medically and so forth, they will look at why do you have this medical condition right now? It's caused because you're obese. It's caused because of your lifestyle and etc. That's what they look at, and they look at changing that, right? So if we were to do that, if we were to go that way in our system, if the government got on board and the World Health Organization got on board, all these massive institutions that control everything in our system got on board and started, they just stop the wheel and go back the other way. Go back to a positive, right? Bring out the positive. Now let's start focusing on how do we, COVID-19 related diseases and heart and stroke and so forth, how do we stop that? By changing all our lifestyles, right? And if we were to change our lifestyle, imagine if they started tracking all those numbers, right? They can track COVID-19 numbers like you don't freaking imagine. They can dissect numbers for the dissected numbers, right? They have so many stats and so many numbers on everything to report to you on a timely matter all the time, right? The negative, right? If you were to turn that around and track obesity and then start reporting the stats in a drop in obesity. Imagine people, hey, don't try to put your hand up right now. I want to participate in that, right? Let's start tracking the drop in obesity. Let's put that message out there. Let's start planting that seed. Let it see it grow. Where is it going to lead us to? A more healthy population? All right. Let's start looking at the opiates. Let's start reporting the decrease in opiate usage. Because when people start feeling better, start looking better, and doctors should start taking them off certain medical conditions because they don't have those symptoms no more. And for the blood work and the urine work and so forth, 110 pounds lost, my lifestyle has changed completely, right? Hence, my medical, my blood work, etc. will change, right? So that should be these will start coming off the list. You don't need no more. So then start reporting the decrease in opiate usage. Imagine that. Getting off to the news this morning. Today in America, we have 1% less obesity rate or we have a 3% drop in opiate usage amongst the population, right? When that achieved for 4%, achieved for 5%. Imagine the world start doing that together. Lifestylers, start reporting on the increase of people that have taken control of their medical, health, lifestyle, life, right? Start, people like myself, for example, you know, imagine my doctor has a thing that he has to fill out for the stats, right? And after every one of my sessions, and then he puts in there, the lost 110 pounds, all the medical conditions, the blood work, the LDLs, etc., the liver, all these little numbers, starts entering them into the system, showing that I've taken control of my lifestyle, medical life, right? It'll show that. Allergies, but let me finish here. I'm going ad lib here. Allergies, start reporting the allergy decreases, because we've seen all the different increases of allergies over the decades and decades and decades. If you start lifestyling, and they know through seizures and medical conditions and so forth, a lot of these things are tied to food. Right? So if people started lifestyling, which includes the children, like our household, we do our very best at lifestyle with our children, explain to them how to live properly with nutrient-dense food and so forth. So when the family starts doing it, the children start participating in it, then you're going to start seeing a decrease in numbers of allergies, decrease in numbers of medical conditions and seizures, and anything related to nutrition. And there's a lot of experts out there with a lot of data and a lot of facts. You want facts, you want data. How about we report those data? Every time you turn on the news, like those alerts, like COVID alerts, like come on, you're constantly shoving freaking stats, right? So if I'm gonna look at that, focus on the positive, you negative, boop, right? You're so negative, the system. You're constantly reporting negative. Right? Start reporting these numbers. And I'm talking to the system here. And your news sources out there, you're doing your job. And newspapers, you're doing your job, right? The system out there wants you to do that job. So imagine if you had this job. of actually tracking obesity decreases, tracking the decreased usage in opiates, tracking the increase in lifestyles that took over their medical lives, tracking the decrease in allergies and the different types of allergies now that we have, tracking the medical conditions that are disappearing and dissipating. Imagine reporting those numbers, those increase in percentages, etc., for a better place and a better world. Imagine that. Jean-Guy Bourguignon, EFA167.